Hello, my name is Reese and today we'll be discussing a video game called Little Nightmares. I'll be taking you through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then finally finishing a little overview. In my opinion, whether or not I think you should buy this video game. So let's get started with the good. The art style is very Tim Burton, and it's perfect for horror. The lighting works well within this game. And I genuinely think the mystery of like what's actually happening is such a positive within Little Nightmares, but you can feel that it's that sort of Tim Burton-esque horror. The puzzles are pretty simple, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later. And because they're simple, that does mean this is very much an entry-level horror game. There's nothing actually visually terrifying about this, because I do believe, in my opinion, that it's aimed at younger audiences. And it really reminds me of like Goosebumps in the way it builds up suspense. So if you are looking at getting, younger kids and the younger audience into horror video games, this to me is the perfect place to start. Because at its core, it's a cat and mouse thriller with horror elements. Don't let that fool you though, the game is still pretty intense and the chase sequences are where this game comes to life. They still, after multiple playthroughs, get through my skin. So I can imagine if this is one of your first experiences of horror, that'll be absolutely terrifying, but not in a visually scary kind of way. There's just something about being chased that I've absolutely loved forever. Let me know in the comments if you love being chased, because if you do, this game's for you. Right, let's talk about the bad. The game is just 2 hours long and it leaves you wanting more, which I know is not always a bad thing, but in this case it's a bad thing because 2 hours seems really tight with how good and quality this video game is. Saying that though, in the sequel, that was the problem. The sequel was 8 hours. Overstayed its welcome. We're not here to talk about the sequel. We're here to talk about the original. At parts, it does seem to be quite difficult to find out what you're actually meant to do. Like, there's no help in this game. For example, the bookcases. I had no idea when I first played this that you could climb up them. So I just kind of was stuck on the floor going left to right like a side-scrolling platformer. And that was a bit frustrating. But I finally did work it out in the end that you can grip with like R2, but I don't know. To me, that just felt like, can you not tell us that? Like, can you somehow, I'm not saying put a tutorial in, but can you just tell us? So with no actual indication of what you're meant to do, I do think, going back to what I said about it being aimed at young players, like how are they ever meant to know? And if they don't know, then they're going to get frustrated and put the game down. I know it's 2 hours, but I just think it seems a bit vague. So that's got to be a down for Little Nightmares. Now, let's talk about the ugly. Normally when I do these reviews, I talk about a poor element of the game. This isn't necessarily a piss poor element, it's just the weakest, which is why I put it in the ugly category, and that is the puzzles. There's unlocks with keys that you're meant to do that you could be brain dead and work them out. Again, I know it's meant to be for young kids, but you can still challenge them. So for example, there's a lot of doors to unlock, so you know that if there's a locked door, you need a key on the padlocks. So like, I don't know, the puzzles just felt a little bit naff, if I'm being deadly honest. Like they're not as good as games like Resident Evil, and I understand this is an indie small title, so they're not going to be, but I just feel like the puzzles in general on Little Nightmares do fall short. So should you buy Little Nightmares? In my humble opinion, I think it is a yes every single day of the week. I think currently it's £3 on Steam, which is mental. I understand it's a pretty old game now, so £3's a bargain, but you can also get like all the expansions and stuff for around £8, I think it was. So yeah, genuinely check this out. Now more than ever is this worth playing. I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but I know it's been on Game Pass at points. So it might still be on there at the time of recording. It's not, but yeah, check it out anyway. Like I said, it's not the most terrifying game you've ever played, but in general, it's worth it. It's 2 hours. I know that's not the longest game of all time, but it's nice and entry level. So for that, I can't recommend it enough. This is genuinely, with Inside, this is one of them games that are the forefront of horror, especially bringing the new generation to horror without it being overwhelming, because I know for some people horror can be quite a lot. So Little Nightmares is the perfect place to start for anybody looking to get into horror. And to be honest, even if you're a horror enthusiast like myself, it's still worth playing, especially for £3. Let me know in the comment section below if you have actually played Little Nightmares, or if you're thinking about getting it, and if you've bought it, what did you think? It'd be great to hear from you in the comment section. I have been Reese. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and I will see you on another review. Peace.